find out how WKU feels about early game time.
And WKU swim was the center of attention last spring, but not in the pool. We have the latest on some new developments from a former swim team member right here on the Extra Point.
And the Hilltoppers return home this weekend after running wild for the past 2 weeks. We'll break down Rice and Miami while looking forward to rivalry action this Saturday.
With all the action from around Warren County and your WKU Hilltoppers, this is the Extra Point.
Hey sports fans, I'm Paige Hagan. I'm here with this fine Southern gentleman to give you the best 30 minutes of your day.
Good evening, folks, and I'm Marcus Browning. And what I love more than standing next to Paige Hagan, talking sports, is talking sports, so let's get rolling.
Let's do it. WKU took a trip down to the Lone Star State looking to get a little winning streak working going into the week. The key to beat Rice? Control Dreyfus Jackson, Rice's mobile QB. The Hilltoppers defense would keep Jackson in check so much he left in the second quarter and wouldn't return for the offense. Well, Dowdy did Dowdy things, throwing 409 yards and 4 first-half touchdowns. Catching Dowdy's TDs were Taywan Taylor, Jared Dangerfield, and Twain Grant, and the man, Tyler Higbee, of course. Rewind back 2 weeks ago when the Tops just trampled a very young Miami of Ohio team. First of all, shout out to Garrett Schwetman becoming WKU's leading all-time scorer, going 8 for 8 in the extra point. Dowdy threw 6 touchdowns for 457 yards. What else is new? Taywan Taylor kicked some tail in receiving with 2 touchdowns and 154 yards. Miami struggled on both sides of the ball. The Tops plowed through the Redhawks, managing 3 interceptions along the way and came up with an impressive 56-14 final. Miami's second-year head coach Chuck Martin let us know his frustrations.
To the tough ones because you really start to question everything. You know, I mean, you question the thoughts that run through your head when you're down 35-0 in the second quarter. I mean, you're a human being. It doesn't matter how experienced you are.
The year 1989. That is the last time WKU football defeated faux MTSU at home. And with the game nearly 36 hours away, the anticipation continues to grow. After a triple overtime contest in Murfreesboro last year, with the Blue Raiders stealing the show 50-47, the Brahms squad and CUSA's most efficient offense is ready to get to work. The last 4 outings between the Hilltoppers and Blue Raiders have been decided by a combined total of 12 points, meaning we have nothing less to expect than yet again another close game. The next chapter to this historic rivalry kicks off in LT Smith Stadium Saturday morning at 11. Now with games being early, does it affect our fans at all? Reporter Lexi Ratterman spoke with Hilltoppers and players to see how they feel about morning kickoffs.
The WKU football team and fan base is gearing up for Saturday's early game time. 3 out of 4 weekend home games have kickoffs scheduled at 11 a.m. Students around campus weigh in on the games starting before noon.
I don't really like it being so early because it kind of throws off the whole rest of my day because the game lasts for a while, but it's not long enough to just go to bed when you get home, so it just kind of throws off my whole day.
It doesn't really matter to me.
I don't really know necessarily because I haven't tailgated yet because I'm just a freshman, but I'm excited to see how it turns out for everybody, and I'm just excited to go to the game and watch.
I think the game should be later because it'd be more fun. You don't have to wake up early.
I don't like it because we don't have enough time to tailgate.
WKU Athletic Director Todd Stewart addressed the Hilltopper Nation, saying games are played early in order to be televised. For those fans that will be up and at 'em early, their tailgating festivities will take place in the Valley or South Lawn. And eventually, they'll end up here to watch their Hilltoppers. Players are mentally and physically getting ready for the game. They don't really mind the early kickoff.
Early games would have to say there's not much waiting around for the game. You know, you get to go out there, you have an adrenaline rush, you get to go, and you don't have to wait all day, sleep all day, lounge around, just get out there and play.
Sun's up, middle of the day, sunshine down the field, you got fans screaming out, and it's just a great atmosphere here, and we enjoy it no matter early, late, or middle of the day.
The Hilltoppers will kick off against MTSU Saturday at 11 a.m. at home. For the Extra Point, I'm Lexi Ratterman.
Thank you, Lexi, for that report. Paige, we're expecting a heated game between the Blue Raiders and the Hilltoppers. What does WKU need to do in order to get this win?
Guys, Middle Tennessee is not to be overlooked. The Hilltoppers need to pass in this game in order to flourish. The Blue Raiders have been solid on D, especially when the ball is in the air. MTSU ranks 16th nationally in pass efficiency defense with 9 picks and only allowing 5 touchdowns. The linebackers move well, and they have some stellar corners and safeties who excel in coverage. So the Blue Raiders are not to be overlooked. But MTSU has been unable to run the ball on decent opponents. This is forcing rookie QB Brent Stockstill to become the offense fulcrum. If linebacker Nick Holt for WKU and the rest of the improving WKU defense can seal off holes in the running lanes on the back, MTSU will again be in trouble. MTSU is always a dangerous and well-coached team, but they'll have a tough time sticking out with Western Kentucky's attack.
Well, one thing that I expect that it's going to be a great game is solely because the Hilltoppers played Vanderbilt at the beginning of the season, and it was a very close matchup. Hilltoppers able to steal the show 14-12. And folks, just last weekend, Vanderbilt and MTSU met down in Nashville, and the Blue Raiders kept Vanderbilt as close as possible. 17-13 was the final score on that one. So I definitely think that this is going to be a huge game for Brandon Dowdy.
I mean, you look at WKU's performance against Vandy, that was a close one. Our receivers struggled. Is it going to be a close one again?
I definitely think that it will be, and definitely going to be a big game from Brandon Dowdy just because he had such a huge spotlight last year. Now it's his last year playing MTSU at home.
That's going to be the key for Saturday's game. Brandon Dowdy getting over those Middle Tennessee defenders.
And folks, speaking of Brandon Dowdy, another week, another set of awards for, well, I just mentioned him. That's right, Brandon Dowdy. For the second consecutive week, Dowdy will bring home multiple weekly awards due to his outstanding performance against Rice. Number 12 picks up the Manning Star of the Week, as well as the Davey O'Brien Performer of the Week, also marking Dowdy's second game in a row that his performance has been honored by both of these awards. Dowdy looks to lead his offense against MTSU this weekend to capture that elusive home win, while also possibly picking up another award or two. Along with Brandon Dowdy, the second highest talked about piece of the Hilltopper offense is the running back position. With the Leon Allen still out for the remainder of the season, the WKU backfield was in the market for some much needed relief. Before the season started, the backfield was anchored by Allen and backed up by Furby. Once Allen went down, that left Furby with the start, then backed up by Anthony Davis, a grad transfer from Indiana. That being said, Ace Bell's returned from an injury Saturday, bringing WKU some much needed relief.
BD12 and the Hilltopper offense are delivering on all expectations this year, averaging 39 points a game. The offense is rolling. Dowdy is slinging the ball all over the field and already passing for over 2,000 yards this season. Add to that, over 500 yards on the ground. It's no doubt that the offense has been the workhorse yet again for the Tops this year. That said, the big news is the improved defense in 2015. Last season, the defense showed flashes of brilliance sandwiched between bouts of inconsistency. This season, they are only allowing 22 points a game and lead the country in turnover margin at plus 12. With Wonderful Terry returning last weekend against Rice, the defense will look to get even stronger as they head towards the heart of the season in the coming weeks.
Dowdy, Taylor, Higbee. All of these guys are worthy candidates to become our hero on the Hill, but this week's honor is going to one lady who has been instrumental in leading the WKU volleyball team on their 11-game winning streak. Sophomore Jessica Lucas claimed her second Conference USA Setter of the Week award this season and fourth of her career as the Lady Tops improved their record to 17-2 overall and 4-0 overall in conference play. Individually, Lucas led WKU with 81 total assists last week and tied teammate Georgia O'Connell with 19 digs. Lucas currently ranks second in Conference USA and 16th in the nation with 713 assists on the year. The sophomore setter became just the 8th player in the Lady Topper history to record 2,000 career assists. So you keep setting them up, Miss Lucas, and we'll keep naming you our hero on the Hill.
Jessica Lucas might be stealing the headlines, but she's not the only member of the Lady Toppers volleyball team. We will take a look at their 11-game winning streak. That's later.
And the list continues to get longer for the WKU swim program. After the break, we will take a look at a new development in the Hilltoppers swim case.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to the shelterpetproject.org and meet if you are in a shelter near you. Harlow, oh, she's one great listener who loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to the shelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, excuse me, sit up straight, hold doors open for ladies. If the door's locked, knock first. Don't burp, don't swear, don't stare, don't use bad language, or talk with your mouth full. Keep your elbows off the table.
What table?
And don't interrupt. Cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. On the bus, give your seat up to anybody who has trouble standing. Bottom line, treat others the way you want to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
Good talk.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
This past spring, the WKU Athletic Department announced they were suspending the Hilltopper swim team for 5 years after a former teammate filed a police report involving hazing violations. Former swimmer Colin Craig, who reported the allegations, has now submitted a federal lawsuit against former and current WKU employees and students. The suit includes some big names. Former swim coach Bruce Marchionda and WKU Athletic Director Todd Stewart are the ones that top off the list of defendants. WKU spokesman Bob Skipper released a statement on what course of action WKU will be taking in the wake of the lawsuit. Skipper said, quote, WKU completed a thorough investigation into this matter and will be defending the lawsuit filed by Mr. Craig. Given the fact this matter is in litigation, we do not feel as though we can make any further comment at this time, end quote. Skipper then went on to say that all other questions should be directed to the WKU attorney.
Colin Craig is suing WKU Athletic Director Todd Stewart, former head coach Bruce Marchionda, 3 former members of the coaching staff, and 3 former swimmers. Craig is claiming he was subjected to verbal, physical, mental, and emotional abuse as a result of discrimination based on his sex, violence, threats, and humiliation from the defendants. Charges against WKU and its current and former staff include negligence, negligent hiring, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and punitive damages. Charges against the former swimmers include negligence, battery assault, defamation, and punitive damages. Craig is looking for $75,000 in damages, and as of today, no trial date has been set. Colin Craig joins the swim team as a freshman at the beginning of the fall 2014 academic year. The report alleges the incidents happened over the course of the fall semester, and Craig did not return. Craig first emailed the Bowling Green Police Department on January 6, 2015, with allegations of swim team members assaulting him and forcing him to drink alcohol. On February 26, 2015, BGPT closed the case of Craig's complaint on April 14, 2015. WKU announced they would be suspending the swimming and diving program for 5 years. On June 30th, head coach Bruce Marchionda, associate coach Brian Thomas, and head diving coach Chelsea Ale had their positions eliminated. And on September 30th, Craig filed the federal lawsuit against WKU, his former coaching staff, and 3 students.
Things got a little too real for an unsuspecting Gatorade cooler last night. We'll see what got into the instigator next.
May be gearing up, but Travis Hudson and his Lady Topper volleyball team are blazing a trail. We will take a look at Jessica Lucas and many more coming up after the break.
watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
This is the moment I knew. His future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
It's been a couple weeks since we've been able to talk about the WKU volleyball team, but that hasn't stopped the Lady Toppers from winning. Coming off their 3-1 victory over the Thundering Herd on the 25th of September, the Tops hosted La Tech and FIU, beating them both 3-0. Travis Hudson's squad continued sweeping through the competition by winning 3-0 against Lipscomb, before moving on to Murfreesboro, where the Lady Toppers kicked off the Hate Week with, guess what, another W. The Lady Toppers look to capture their 12th straight victory tomorrow at home against UTSA.
We're a talented bunch, and it's fun to coach these kids, and when we do little things well, we're pretty hard to beat.
Second time in 2 years, the Lady Topper volleyball team has made their way into the American Volleyball Coaches Association Top 25. The Lady Toppers collected 125 votes, which earned them the title of number 23 in the nation. Last year, WKU cracked the top 25 for a time, but before they captured a Conference USA championship and punched their ticket to NCAA tournament. The Lady Toppers welcomed the Roadrunners of UTSA to Diddle tomorrow night. WKU is looking to avenge their last loss in Conference USA last year to the UTSA. The ladies bring in a 15-game conference winning streak, and as well as their last 11 games overall. The Roadrunners also boast an unbeaten record in conference play this season, making this game a battle for the top spot in Conference USA. First serve is set for 7 p.m. inside Diddle Arena.
The Gridiron boys weren't the only ones capturing wins in Texas over the weekend, as the ladies on the soccer field ventured to San Antonio for a Sunday showdown with the Roadrunners. For the second game in a row, WKU, the Lady Tops scored a goal in the first minute of the second half. WKU also had a season high for the shots on goal, tallying 16 for the game with 11 on frame. Sophomore goalkeeper Allison Leone had her fourth shutout of the season, helping secure the Lady Tops victory of 1-0. With rivalry week in full swing, the soccer team heads down to Middle Tennessee on Friday to face the Blue Raiders. The Raiders are coming off a conference win against the Charlotte 49ers, and their goalkeeper was just named CSA Keeper of the Week. However, the Lady Tops are keeping up as well, coming off a win against conference matchup UTSA. The Toppers also had a conference honor of their own. Co-Defender of the Week was freshman Megan Morse, making this her first award of her career. You can catch the game Friday evening at 7 in Murfreesboro.
As the temps get colder, that means only one thing: basketball is in the air. Ray Harper and company compiled a team of mostly new faces over the offseason, and the CUSA coaches poll saw fitting enough to name them the 6th best team in the preseason polls yesterday. Conference USA also announced the all-conference team, which didn't include any member of the Hilltopper squad, but UAB rounded off the top of the poll, with the Blazers receiving 11 first-place votes and Old Dominion stealing second, while only receiving 3. The first practice for the WKU men's basketball team took place Monday afternoon. Head coach Ray Harper is hopeful, but knows there is a long road ahead. He commented, quote, "We got a lot of room for improvement, which is typical with as many new guys as we got, but this time of year. For the most part, guys have been good, but practices are going to get a little more extended and a little more detailed each day." Returning seniors Nigel Snipes and Alex Rostov look to lead the Tops back to the NCAA tournament for the first time in 3 years. The days of TJ Price, George Fant, and Trincy Jackson are long, long gone for the Hilltopper basketball squad. That being said, the Hilltoppers have some familiar faces. Alex Rostov, Ben Lawston, and Chris Harrison-Dox are back for another season on the Hill. A few of the 9 newcomers to look out for are going to be Frederick Edmond, a 6'4" junior guard. Next is Willie Carmichael, a 6'10" sophomore forward transfer from Tennessee. And rounding out the new class is Aaron Cosby. Cosby is graduated transfer from Illinois and started his career at Seton Hall. Both WKU men's and women's basketball teams will be in action at Hilltopper Hysteria. Fans will get their first look at both teams on October 17th. Festivities start at 6 p.m. inside of EA Diddle Arena.
The Louisville basketball team is feeling the heat after allegations of recruiting violations have surfaced. Rick Pitino has his comments on the investigation coming up.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise and be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
Maybe he's really focused.
Hey, Michael. Michael. Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
This new dad is picturing a tree house in the sky, but he's ignoring the instructions. Good luck, big guy. His kids know that he's building without a clue. Never been so good with nails and glue. Now we're trapped inside a box. I hope mom knows what to do. Mom! See, you don't have to be perfect to be the perfect parent.
Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
I didn't expect this to be here with you regarding this. I expected to be here talking about a scrimmage. To say I'm disheartened, disappointed, would be probably the biggest understatement I've made since I've been a coach. And when this first broke a month ago, I questioned everybody if anybody has even a little knowledge or hearsay or seen anybody. And everybody to the person, over 15 people, said they have no knowledge of anything, never seen anything. I've had players call me and tell me they were contacted by the person in the book, and I asked them if they had any knowledge or seen anything, and the answer's been absolutely nothing. It's mind-boggling to me how all of this can go on, and I read the statement that the publishing company put out, and it almost got me sick to my stomach in reading it.
And you just heard the emotional comments from Coach Rick Pitino, a renowned Louisville basketball coach. Investigation is in full effect at the University of Louisville men's basketball team, and Louisville is facing allegations claimed in breaking cardinal rules, basketball and the escort queen. That's a book that states that a former member of Rick Pitino's coaching staff paid escorts thousands of dollars to have sexual relations with players and recruits. The author writes that former director of basketball operations, Andre McGee, was involved with this behavior for 4 years. Louisville officials have hired a private investigator to conduct an internal investigation.
After the allegations were announced, the University of Louisville began their own investigation along with the NCAA. According to a CBS Sports report earlier today, former University of Louisville commit and current Ohio State Buckeye Jaquan Lyle met with the NCAA investigators and approved the list of the allegations. A source close to the report stated that Lyle told the truth. This investigation is ongoing, and the Extra Point will bring you updates along the way.
And one thing that also made our jaw drop during the Pittsburgh Cubs playoff game last night, Pirates' Sean Rodriguez went bonkers last night after benches cleared. Rodriguez gets ejected from the game and decides to take his frustrations out on an innocent Gatorade cooler. It's a laugh out loud moment for those watching at home, but this Pirate is not very amused.
And now, folks, we are here for one of the my favorite part of the show, and that's going for two. Now, one of the things that we've talked about football so much, and it's a highlight of the sports world, but folks, basketball's going on.
So, Marcus, tell me, what's the impact WKU basketball team is facing after losing George Fant, superstars Trincy Jackson, TJ Price? Tell me about the impact that it's going to be.
I definitely think that you're going to lose a lot of leadership because you can't replace guys such as George Fant and TJ Price. They've been together since they were freshmen. They work great together. They are truly the pinnacle of what you see in a program because they play every single minute of almost every single game. TJ Price actually led the Hilltoppers in minutes last year. So whenever you take that and you have that momentum that these players are able to instill in the younger guys, that's something that you can't replace. And definitely with Trincy Jackson, the off the bench, the spark that he provided. He hit, I believe it was against UALR a couple of years ago. His first year as a junior, he hit a half-court shot to win it. So whenever you have those type of moments, he was just a true spark for this off-the-bench team. But definitely one thing, this new Hilltoppers team is going to be very talented. Like we mentioned earlier, Frederick Edmond, really a great combo guard. He's 6'4", as mentioned earlier. JUCO junior. Guarantee he will be the pinnacle of this team this year.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about some expectations coming in off MTSU week. We face LSU coming up. We face Marshall in football coming up. What do you have to say about LSU? I mean, that's going to be a scary game.
It's going to be a fun game, and I'm actually going to go down there to it just because of the environment. You're able to go and
Death Valley, baby.
Death Valley, it's one of its own. But I definitely think that is a contest that WKU is obviously going to have.
That LSU running back, though, what's his name?
Leonard Fournette.
Leonard Fournette. I mean, this kid is crazy. They're already predicting him to reach some award-winning
He's a Heisman candidate.
I mean,
but definitely, I think that going forward, that's definitely going to be a loss. Probably, if my assumption is correct. Of course, I would love to see WKU win, but I think other than that, possibly MTSU, and then of course Marshall on the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday. It's going to be an awesome time.
I hope the fans pack the house for that one.
And I hope so too. But folks, as bad as I hate to say it, that's all the time we have for today.
All right, thanks for watching.
An Extra Point up, and it's good.